Hey everybody, welcome back to Assembly Hall and Inside Indiana Overtime. I'm Alex McCarthy with John Bauer and Fine from Inside Indiana, of course. And welcome back was kind of the theme tonight for Indiana and Mike Davis, former head coach here, obviously, um, who was here for 6 years, the national championship appearance. But he came back with his Texas Southern team tonight, and he told us after the game that tonight wasn't really about winning or losing. It was about being back here with his family and his team. His team did lose, obviously by 19. Indiana beat him 83-64. But it was kind of a fun sight to see Mike Davis back in here, to see him back on the sidelines and kind of going around politician style and saying hi to everybody, to media members who have been here, to employees. He said he went over and talked to Don Fisher for a little bit, and it was just like old times. He said, which is kind of it's for a program with so much tradition. It's always fun to see these guys come back like this. So that was kind of nice. Before the game, he got a great ovation, people standing ovation for the fans that were from the fans that were here, and just kind of a fun atmosphere, fun kind of thing to do. But on the court, obviously his team was very overmatched. It's a little bit banged up, and quite frankly, if it were at full strength, Indiana still would have kind of been able to run away with this game. It seems like
Indiana wasn't at full strength too.
that's true. That's a good point. But really, the majority of Indiana's dominance was in the backcourt. Robert Johnson had, I think it's pretty safe to say, his best game yet. He's been impressive, I think, in the first two exhibition games of the debut. But tonight, I thought he was better than he's been yet.
21 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He's a stat sheet filler, especially early on. He was doing good, especially in this game, the first half. In 19 minutes, he had 17 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Finished the game 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. He looks like the complete package. I know it's early, but I think he's already beaten out Nick Zeisloft as a third guard in the backcourt alongside Yogi and James, who also had great games tonight. Those three guys combined for 60 points, 21 from Johnson, 20 from Yogi, and then 19 from Blackman. All three shot well above 50% from the field. Yogi had 7 assists, Blackman had 1, Johnson had 6, like I said. Backcourt has been playing really well, and I expect to see them playing even better as the season goes along, and especially when SMU comes Thursday.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see if they can be able to shoot the way they did tonight, and to be able to score almost at will from the outside and from the guard position, because it seemed like James Blackman had a huge second half, Rob Johnson had a huge first half, and it's almost kind of a luxury for Indiana to have so many options in the backcourt, where Blackman wasn't quite as involved in the first half as he's been in the past games, and uh, luckily, Rob Johnson had scored 17 points in the first half and kind of made up for all of it. And then after halftime, Johnson was still playing well, but wasn't scoring nearly as much as he did in the
Wasn't
first half.
6 or 7.
Right. But then Blackman just totally took over for a few minutes there and was doing everything, driving, shooting from the outside, and making Texas Southern defenders respect
Yeah,
really every aspect.
they had gotten Texas Southern had gotten to within 10, and then Blackman Jr. went on a mini 6-0 run, which included 2 made 3-pointers, the second of which was a pull-up jumper right in the face of a Texas Southern defender. He almost just willed himself into the game. He only had 1 shot in the first half, which is really odd.
Yeah.
But man, is his offensive game nice.
It is. It's fun to watch, and when he and Johnson are clicking, and Farrell's able to get the ball out to him, this is a really fun team to watch, and really one of the more fun things we're going to see in the whole non-conference schedule is coming up Thursday night at 8 p.m. here in Assembly Hall when SMU comes. They're going to be ranked. They're going to be again not. When you looked at this game a few months ago, it was maybe a little bit more appealing that it's going to be on Thursday with a couple of the losses that SMU has had, personnel-wise. But it's still going to be a really interesting game for Indiana fans.
They still have Larry Brown.
They still have Larry Brown as a Pistons fan. I'm very excited to see it. But it's going to be interesting to see what Indiana's going to do because they're going to be back at fuller strength. They're going to see Troy Williams and Stan Robinson and Emmett Holt back from their suspensions, and we're really not sure what to expect from any of them, I guess, but especially Emmett Holt. You think he's going to maybe supply a little bit of depth in the front court, but you don't really want to throw him right in the fire against SMU. But I'm really intrigued to see what Williams and Robinson are going to do, and if they, if Williams maybe cracks the starting lineup, I'm curious to see that.
Yeah, I think Stan with the shot change, with the changing his hand, shooting with his right hand now, isn't going to be asked to score. I don't know if he even has the confidence to try and score or shoot very much, especially when you have, you know, the trio in the backcourt, and then you have Zysloth as well. But Troy is definitely a very intriguing factor. I don't know what Crean's doing in-house, but you got to imagine he starts against a big team in SMU, or at least a Division I caliber team that's likely to make the NCAA tournament. A lot bigger team than, you know, Texas Southern and the other teams. Some of the other teams that IU's play when they're starting their front lines consisting of 6'6", 6'5" guys.
Yeah, and it's going to be a huge, you know, Troy and you know, whatever Stan's able to do are going to be, you know, Indiana hopefully hopes that they'll help them in the rebounding battle, which they lost again tonight, which
34-32.
Yeah, and Indiana's going to need help defending the offensive glass.
Yeah, with 12 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just not something you can really expect to do and get away with against a team that's pretty good.
I'd expect it to be a recurring theme all year. Just how bad it is will be telling of the season, I think.
Yeah, that's the question. Is you know that they're not going to be able to rebound well, but are they going to be able to rebound well enough to get their shooters the ball and score? So we're going to, you know, be starting to get some of those answers Thursday night here at Assembly Hall, 8 p.m. SMU is going to come in here. I'm excited for it, you know, to break this streak of, you know, no offense, but kind of subpar opponents and games that are kind of out of control in the second half. So we'll be here, obviously. Hopefully you'll be watching and reading all our stuff and watching overtime. But for now, we're out. For John Bauernfeind, Alex McCarthy, and thanks for watching.